Let's not forget to turn on my mic this time around, you know? Is it gonna crash? Here we go. Let's see, help and option. Oh. Haven't played on my music volume. I need to turn it down. As much as I like the volume, I don't want it crazy. Story, normal mode. That's fine. Alrighty, so we'll see how this goes today, yeah?
Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble. Ground forms up under his feet as if pointing the way. He don't stop to wonder why. Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls, years of work undone in an instant, in the calamity. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Kid pops him good. Starts to feel his bruises, though. An old repeater falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods, but it'll have to do. Gotta hold her still to spin up the chamber.
I haven't played this in a while, so I'm rusty.
Kid's worked up quite a thirst by now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink. A school of squirts tunnels up around him. Must have fled here from the mines. He sets foot inside one of Celandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi, the bartender. The calamity got him before his drinking did. Then Kid finds his trusty shield. But just as he's getting a handle on it, the security takes him for a petty thief. Clang. Shield saves his hide. Windbags start turning up for last call. More squirts start coming out of the woodwork. A big old fella pops out in front of the kid. And then windbags are playing for keeps. Kid sees sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop. He gets a good look at things on his way down. He lands on top of a breaker's bow, and it ain't broke. Wasn't long before the kid could loose an arrow, strong and true. Kid spies a good perch for some target practice. He knows he should draw the string all the way back. Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid. Right back at you. Picks up a few pointers from a dusty old tome. He's a mighty fast learner. He finds the distillery. Right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man.
Fetching fizz. Plus 10 max health. Absorb stray fragments would probably be the better.
The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job.
I like these.
And then he falls to his death. I'm just fooling.
This is like one of my things. 'Cause I forget what.
Some of them squirts birthing like crazy in a couple of corn bins.
I don't know if I'm really feeling Bastion today. I was last night because I was listening to the soundtrack for it.
An old ferry barge sends the kid on his way. The Bastion's real close now. Kid takes a chunk of alloy. Smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags. Kid maybe shouldn't have done what he just did. Rob's a scumbag of his last meal. Kid puts him out of his misery.
I figured the narrator's doing just a fine job
He
of
finds the
narrating.
core to the Wharf District. He steals the city's heart. Might as well. Kid has a feeling he better get a move on. The place is starting to fall. See, that core Kid took was the only thing making this particular rock stay afloat. Kid just keeps running. At last, the Skyway is in sight. Whisks him where he needs to go.
I think that's actually the
Now the
first time
kid
I've
sees something
reached
stranger still.
Skyway.
His mind races. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me. We talk for a spell. All I tell him is to set that core of his on the monument there, then watch. And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again, growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. There's a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest, enough to point the way to the cores.
I think that's actually the first time I've ever made it to the Skyway. I remember the first two times I tried to play this game, I was running and then I'd fall off the side of the map. So what's this? Let's see.
Kid ponders what to build. Makes time to sample spirits from my personal supply.
See.
Dread rum's brewed from swamp weeds, so its effect is as bold as its flavor. Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him. The Skyway. Now the kid can ride the wind to distant lands.
Let's do the proving grounds. I'm never very good at these, but let's do it anyway.
The break.
Oops.
Girls
Really?
used to come here for target practice. Used to play a little
Sorry, guys.
game. See who could bust the most targets and the fewest shots. He's focused. He's armed. And he's off.
I don't really know how to do this one, to be honest with you. It's actually kind of hard.
Perfect shot just happens in a flash.
Yeah, no, this ain't gonna work. Definitely got more that time, but I'm not the greatest at this.
Puts on the right solid performance.
Cool, I actually unlocked 2 that time. I think it's the repeater that I struggle with a little bit more. And then I wanted to know.
He returns with some of the materials we need.
Hello, who's ever viewing? It won't let me click my chat without minimizing Bastion.
Ain't always much to say.
But hello, welcome. Nothing to say? Okay, then we'll go ahead and move on. Let's do this one. I hope you're having a good day. If you haven't already, check out some
Now
of the
he
Dank
lands at the
streams,
intersection between bad and wrong.
because I don't know how to set up donations. Otherwise, I'd be doing this for Thankmas.
Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets. But which one? He heads for the squirt steps. Won't be no field trip this time. Scumbag can digest just about anything. Except for this. It's
look.
quick for slicing and light enough to throw.
Cool. Let's see what's down this way. I don't think it's very much, to be honest with you.
They say even the most rambunctious squirts can be tamed. No sign of the core here. At least the kid got something for his trouble. Them squirts just don't know when to quit.
There we go. Let's try this way.
Up north is where the gas fella foreman used to live, tending to his flock.
Oh.
And there it is, but it's locked down tight in an alloy cage. blustery old foreman's keeping his fellas in check, almost like he's showboating for the crowd. And now there's a new marshal in town. No white gas fellas all dress alike. Kids wondering the same thing. He heads for the biggest dump in town. Scumbag alley. Some scumbag still feeding off the city's own trash. And there he is. The oldest scumbag of them all. Gershel. The calamity ain't done much for Gershel's sunny disposition. They always said old Gershel wouldn't go without a fight. He hears the whole place groan, but it's too tough to fall. Might as well check the other side streets before leaving this hole. He heads for the east side, where windbags used to keep the local forge. They ain't pleased. No coal or alloy left to pay him for their efforts. Inside the forge, Key can fine-tune those instruments of his. Kid's lifelong friends looking fit to keep on fighting.
Power per string.
With a good length of meat gut, that bow's like new again. Kid's ready to go, and his ticket out's right where he started.
I wonder if I need to adjust my.
He comes back, just like
Ugh, sorry.
I knew he would. The core hums in his pack. The monument's calling for it. Kid does it again. Only fair he decides what we build next. The windbags used to be alright. Then the calamity took the floor out from under him.
Let's see. Start with an arsenal.
The Bastion's a place of peace, but we can hold our own if we have to. Ain't much kid can't handle with hammer and bow in hand.
Alright, next place. I wonder when I think it's Zolf that I ran into next.
Picked up traces of other cores while the kid was out.
Okay, let's see. Proving Ground, Bastion, Workman, the Melting Pot, and the Sundown Path. Let's do the Sundown Path first.
Couples used to walk the sundown path. Kid ain't here for pleasure, though.
Definitely a pretty map, for sure, this one.
But then, somebody gets to the core before the kid. The floor starts giving way under the lightest step. A single panic squirt could bring the whole place down. Fragments of the old world rain from the sky. Well, the path ain't exactly open to visitors no more. Security's all fired up. See, the path was intended for leisurely strolling and such. Not so much for noise and tomfoolery. Sky bridges link the path together. One of them bridges whips the kid along. Finds a spyglass, like the ones they'd use to search the stars. The calamity changed everything, even where the wind blows. Well, if we mastered the winds in the old days, we can do it again. Quick and careful's the only way to go. But the question is, who else could have taken the core? Well, ain't no survivor stole the thing. Scumbag ate it by mistake. Tough break. Unlike the kid, that core ain't coming back. No, they used to ship live munitions down the path. Find time to find them. He's wise to toss those things plenty far away. Even gas fellas need some shut-eye from time to time. They get real cranky and wicked. this toil, Kid keeps coming back to an overwhelming question. Who else could have survived the calamity?
This is such a cool game. I'm glad I'm playing it again. Yeah.
So we didn't find a core that time, but that ain't about to stop us. We could always see the stars. We just never could reach them, no matter how high we built.
This is actually kind of hard to figure out. Do I want to do mirror shell? This is good for crowd control right around me. Alright. Let's go to another one. I mean, I might as well check this out, though I'm probably going to be awful at it.
No place better than Trapper's Shingle for learning to tread light and shoot straight. Trappers had to tread real careful here, else take a nasty fall. They train themselves by clearing out the targets, while not clearing out the floor. Any good trapper knows never to take a step till the time is right. Most trappers couldn't get through without a few scrapes. A decent trapper wouldn't walk away empty-handed.
That's okay. That's actually a very touchy one, for sure.
To think a rickety place like the Shingle survived, when so little else did.
Alright, let's do this.
In better days, the melting pot was sealed tighter than the skin on a squirt.
I mean, that's one way to destroy them.
Of all the plans to survive the calamity, it had to be stab weeds. If there's a core, he figures it ought to be deeper down. Core stuck inside one of those fancy cages. Some of the stuff lying around is downright dangerous. He throws a switch. Now what could possibly go wrong? Quite a bit, as it turns out. The cage starts lifting from the core ever so slow. All Kid can do is wait. Shipments start falling in. Not every squirt's born bad. Some spring to the kid's defense. Judging by the movement of the cage, it's gonna take a little while. Scumbags don't take kindly to interlopers. Even some gas fellas take his corner. Birdie popped that mean old foreman. At this rate, maybe 5 more minutes, maybe 30, hard to tell. Squirts get real territorial around the core. Then a shipment of free samples shows up. One thing's for sure, that cage is awful heavy. It's a troublesome scene, to be sure. A few moments left, and the core goes free. 10, 9, 8, 7, give or take a few seconds. Finally, the core's within reach. And done. He's got it. Just gotta get to the nearest barge.
Alrighty. That was fun.
I still remember the look on his face after that one. The old world's finished, but the new world's just getting started. folks voyaged across the boundless sea to found Caelandia. It was good living here for a while.
Let's see, what do we want to build? Forge is all we got options for.
A lot of things need fixing up in this world, and we can start right here. Fetching fizz is like a mouthful of nails, but the benefits are worth it.
Probably gonna play for about 15 more minutes.
The dead welcome him with open arms. The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. It was someone like him. Kid sees him there agape, in the flesh. Hits a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. He's got so many questions after all. Just ain't got time for answers. The Thunder brothers didn't make it. They never saw what it was like beyond the walls. Nordy, the bird boy, didn't make it. The Jawsons, they didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr., they didn't make it. But him, he survived. Kid finds proof enough that man ain't from around here. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? The core survived as well. Kid does what he has to do. And then, what do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this: we have to go. Please.
Zolf.
He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zolf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Caelandia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind. Both to him and to each other for the first time. He was born in the Tazal terminals. The Ura sent him on a mission of peace to our city, and he's lived here ever since. We fought the Ura decades ago, but that was then. Things are different between us now. For Zolf, Caelandia was like a second home. He's real worried about his first home, too. Far to the east. Zolf offers to help me plot the skyways for the kid. At least the calamity hasn't touched the stars, he says. Kid ain't finished here yet. The cores. They remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be all right. Well, look what we have here. The memorial. Here a kid can pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind. The valediction. Just another one of my sketches. Nothing more. Words can't express what happened, but they're all I got. Turns out those old bones still have some spark in them. The little Zolwood oil and that blade shines like a light.
Now we have some crowd control.
We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the city.
I feel like I should try this again. Try and get the first place prize.
Kid ain't had enough of the Breakers' barracks. Takes practice, and a mighty strong bow helps too.
Probably won't. Alright, let's see how I can do this. Because angling with this is always so weird. Damn it. Yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. fine. One more time. And if I don't get it, I'm just gonna move on. Angles are hard for me, apparently. I give up. This is bugging me. We're gonna do something else. Alright, let's leave. Somehow. There's a way to leave, right? Fine. I see what it's trying to get me to do now.
Kid ain't done bad at all.
I see what's getting me to try and do now. I'll have to try that again. Another time, though. Let's go see if I can... There's Cinderberg Fort, and then Pith Orchard. Ooh, that one's gonna be hard because of the bowls. The bowls are really annoying.
No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either. Pith Orchard. Place is a dead end in more ways than one. Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Well, the gods are long gone now. And the orchard core is long gone too.
So then why am I here if the core is gone?
Pith stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration. Pith makes a decent scarecrow, at least. Then Pith lights up like a rodeo. He couldn't even save his loyal subjects. breaks him to bits. Must have been guarding that shrine. So what'll it be? Invoke the gods? Or tell them off?
No thanks.
Kid don't need favors from the likes of Piff. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Popping windbags is hard enough. No need to get the gods involved. The gods ain't gonna catch you if you fall. Things might have gone worse if Kid tampered with that shrine.
I need to stop falling off. That'd be nice.
The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god. Kid ain't found the core, but at least he found Zolf's precious shrine. Now we can build a shrine of our own, though I got some alternatives in mind. Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy. The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls.
There's nothing I could do. What's over here? Alright, one more area since I had struck out each one.
There's only one way to Cinder Brick Fort. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. The calamity was mercy for normal folks. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze or starve. or face the kid. Good thing the windbags don't know kids fresh out of health tonics. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Something the windbags just can't handle. Something that'll punch clean through their greasy hides. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. The calamity drove the windbags topside. A lot of them wound up here in this very fort. Could have been minding the business underground like in the old days. Windbags can't use the marshal supplies, but the kid sure can. As for the windbags, Cinderbrick gave them enough heat and metal to munch on for a while. Well, the fort ain't theirs, am I right? Can't blame them for wanting it, though. So many of those sorry things holed up inside that old fort.
For a reason I can't. Did I glitch myself? I think he glitched me out. Cool. But now I can't get anywhere because I'm gonna fall if I do. Then I die. And then, yeah. Help. That's fine because I glitched. Great. Is making progress too. Let's try that again. I'm mad now.
Can't be too careful these days.
That's what I'm trying to go for. Thank you.
The Ford's still standing there, waiting for the kid, mocking him. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the Ford's crawling with windbags.
Let's try not to get stuck there again.
The calamity was mercy for normal folks. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze or starve or face the kid. Good thing the windbags don't know kids fresh out of health tonics. Well, windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Something the windbags just can't handle. Something that'll punch clean through their greasy hides. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. The calamity drove the windbags topside. A lot of them wound up here in this very fort. Could have been minding the business of the ground like in the old days. Cinder brick gave him enough heat and metal to munch on for a while. As for the windbags, well, the fort ain't theirs by right. Can't blame them for wanting it, though. So many of those sorry things holed up inside that old fort.
Alright, this is where I got stuck last time.
Blasting everything in sight with that newfangled musket. Security's plain gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. Kid ain't afraid of getting burned. They trapped the kid in the middle of the fort's parade grounds. Then they bring out Glutus and Glandon and all their scumbag uncles. They got something to gain, and only their sorry hides to lose. Kid takes down Glutus, or maybe it was Glandon. The windbags finally get the message. Kid used to dream of getting a marshal's badge, but not like this. The Skyway's a welcome sight after all that. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Zulf's telling me about his own journey to the city. The marshals seem like good men, he says. They treated him with dignity. Zulf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals.
Excuse me.
Seems the only thing the Calamity saved for Zulf was his smoking pipe. Poor kid collapses after just one drag.
Oh, wait, what? What's going this? Oh, right.
The
Like a dream
past.
sequence.
Only good thing ever come out of the past is history. The past catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life. Supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there. School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Celandia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too. The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either. So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Caelandia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls. Out there, kid learned to fend for himself, learn to build, learn to break. In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that. Past don't matter for nothing now. There's something you should know about the kid, but let me take it from the top. Catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life, supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there. School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too. city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either. So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Caelondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls. How there, a kid learned to fend for himself, learn to build, learn to break. In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart. He saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that. All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back. Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him. arrived at Ceylandia's vaunted safe haven. He and no one else. But then, all they got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name. Sure, I may be the one who dreamt up the walls and the Bastion, but the kid made them real, not me.